Hey guys, this video is going to summarize 4 of the key ideas from the One Funnel Away challenge, along with a quick fire round at the end with some bonus takeaways. So basically you can get a flavor of the course for free, and then you can either just take that information and apply it, or hearing this may inspire you to go and buy the course, the link of which is in the description if you are interested. Or it may inspire you to not buy the course. But either way, I'm confident these principles we're going to talk about can help you if you have any desire to sell anything online. And I wouldn't normally review or summarize a course, but the One Funnel Away challenge is talked about a lot. And in my opinion, that's for good reason, because I genuinely do think it is worth a $100 investment because it covers so much about online business and marketing. But you can see for yourself once we've delved into this. And as I said, if nothing else, you're going to walk away with 4 big ideas you can apply to your own business to sell more and make more money. And big idea number 1 is to create an offer, not a product. When selling individual products, they're often viewed as a commodity. People can probably get that product or something very close somewhere else. And when you're selling commodities, it's a race to the bottom with price. Everyone's selling the same thing. There's nothing to differentiate them. So instead, you need an offer, which is multiple things bundled together. This way, what you're selling becomes totally unique, which is often referred to as a blue ocean strategy, where you have no direct competitors. The example given is if you're buying a phone from me. You can buy that same phone in loads of places, so probably the only way I'm going to win the sale from you over competitors is if I undercut them on price, which then massively cuts into my profits. Especially as then someone like Amazon can just undercut me, or any phone shop could undercut me. However, what if I made a unique offer instead, and I said to you, I'm still selling the same phone, but I've preloaded this phone with a bunch of rare songs. It's also got a contact list on there of celebrities. And as an extra bonus, I'm going to leave my number on there too. So if you have any marketing or YouTube questions at all, you can drop me a message at any time. Now we have an offer. You're still getting the original thing, the phone, but with all these extras that you can't get anywhere else. We have a unique offer. Because the key takeaway here is that the only way to make something seem cheaper is lower the price or increase the value. And with a commodity like the phone on its own, you could only do the first option. All you can do is lower the price. That's why we have to break out of being a commodity by creating an offer. So if you want more sales, rather than decreasing your prices, increase the perceived value so it feels relatively cheaper instead. And if people aren't buying it, the offer just isn't right yet. Big idea number 2 though is hook, story, offer. One of the central ideas to marketing, and certainly one of the central ideas in the One Funnel Away challenge, is hook, story, offer. It doesn't matter whether you're talking about a Facebook ad, a web page selling your products, a webinar. Almost all forms of marketing and sales are using some variation of this format, hook, story, offer. Now, a hook is simply referring to something that grabs the attention right away. It may be the first line of a post or the headline of a page, but the main purpose is to get someone to read on and not click away or scroll past. It's literally hooking them in. One of the best ways of doing this is creating curiosity, creating an open loop in the brain where they really want to find out exactly what you mean or what happens next or how you can do what you've just said in the headline. So after the hook, you then focus on the story. So you've hooked them in, you've got their attention. Now we deliver the story because stories amplify and highlight value. That was one big takeaway for me. Stories amplify and highlight value. And so one of the most common beginner sales mistakes is trying to logically convince someone of why they should buy this thing by listing out loads of reasons and features. But people buy with emotion and then they justify with logic. And so stories are really where the sale is made because that's where all the emotion comes from. So you need to get to be really honest and open and explain things like your backstory, your struggles, the epiphany you had that helped overcome those struggles, what transformation you had, and all of this story leads them to the epiphany themselves of why they need to do a similar thing that you've done and use this product or service you're offering. Just telling them the epiphany of, yeah, this method of losing weight is great, or whatever it is you're selling or pitching, that'd be nowhere near as impactful if you just tell them that. You have to take them on the journey with you. So you describe everything in much more detail, like an in-depth story, and then they can visualize it all themselves. It makes it more real than if you just bombard them with information and facts. Instead, they put themselves into the story that you went through. They see themselves going through those things. They can probably relate to it much better that way. And so, even when you're not selling something directly, using more stories to help make your points rather than just giving the facts is an incredibly powerful way to make sure your message actually sticks. But then the final part of this hook story offer formula is the actual offer, which is where you spell out what they're going to get. And you do this very clearly because another key point to jot down here, a confused mind doesn't buy. A confused mind doesn't buy. We have to be super clear about what they're getting, what we're offering. So, the upshot of all this is that when you're writing copy of any kind, which just means writing words that can help sell things, remember hook, story, offer. And of course, the ratio of hook, story, offer can change. For example, on a Facebook ad, you're going to focus much more on the hook and then the story rather than much focus on pitching the offer right there and then. Whereas on a sales page, you're going to need to be heavily focused on the offer part. But constantly checking you're using all three, hook, story, offer, is crucial. And after all of this, you'll start seeing everywhere when other people are trying to sell things, they're using that formula as well. In fact, one of the big recommendations is to deliberately research how competitors and even people outside your niche are using hook, story, offer. Keep note of good hooks and stories that are being used that catch your attention. Not so you can copy them, but just so you can take inspiration from them. And so you'll have a whole folder of inspiration to go from when you're making your own copy. Okay, let's move on to big idea number 3, the 3 types of traffic. Now, once you've got an offer to sell to people, you need traffic. You need people coming to see the offer in order to be able to actually make sales and make money, right? And there are 3 different types of traffic. The first is traffic you control. In other words, paid traffic. This is stuff like buying ads on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and so on. You don't own the platform or the traffic, but you can go to Facebook and say, I want to buy advertising space so that you can control where to send some of that traffic. In other words, send it to your offer. The second type of traffic, though, is traffic that you earn, which includes being a guest on someone else's show, which you can do by networking with them and providing value to them first, or by making your own content on social media where you publish fun or useful posts to help attract potential customers to you and your offer. And earned traffic has the advantage over the previous option of being free, but of course, creating content and building an audience and building connections takes a lot more time, unlike paid traffic, which can be bringing you huge amounts of traffic in a couple of days, depending on your budget. So both of these types of traffic have their place. Both can be good. But then there's this third type of traffic, which is the most key of all, and that is traffic that you own. In other words, your email list. Because remember, just because you have a Facebook ad doing well, or just because you have an Instagram post going viral, both traffic you control and traffic you earn are subject to the ever-changing algorithms. The safest type of traffic is traffic you own, where even if the social media platforms collapsed, you could still communicate with people and drive them to your offers. And so, the 2 key takeaways here are that number 1, you need to be building an email list, but number 2, you should be sending your controlled and earned traffic to your email list. There's a popular phrase that all the money is in the list. All 3 types of traffic can be great, but growing your email list will put you in a much, much better position than relying solely on other platforms. And so to do this, you can collect emails by offering something for free, which is called a lead magnet. So for example, as you grow your audience on YouTube, let's say, make sure you offer them an ethical bribe where you give away something for free in exchange for their email address, as then that's growing your email list. So even if something happens to your YouTube account, you still own that traffic. Okay, now let's take a look at big idea number 4, which is funnels. A funnel is simply a marketing term that essentially refers to the customer journey, going from being a cold prospect all the way through to becoming a long-term customer. Now, a key difference between a funnel and a normal website is that a funnel is very purpose-driven. A website allows users to click around to an about page, contact, and so on. A funnel is there either to get someone's email address or sell products. Simple as that. Often it's both of those things. But by having a simple, single purpose like this, it's much more effective at getting the end result. Now, should clarify that the One Funnel Away Challenge is created by ClickFunnels, so they use ClickFunnels throughout, but other software can create funnels. There's free software that can create funnels as well, because funnels are just web pages. The format is just different to a typical website. For this to make any sense though, let's look at a simple funnel. So here we've got the squeeze page, then a sales or order page, a one-time offer, sometimes called an upsell, and finally a thank you page. So let's break this down. The first page we send our traffic to. Remember, we've got those 3 different methods of sending traffic. We can use any of those 3 to direct traffic to our squeeze page, which is purely designed to get their email address. They opt in for something, like that free lead magnet we mentioned earlier, where we say you can get X for free if you give me your email address. So the squeeze page would be nice and simple, but still using hook, story, offer. So at the top of the squeeze page, you'd have a headline, which would be your hook. So something captivating or intriguing, like grab your free copy of The Secret to Doing X, with X being related to your niche and what you sell. And then you'd have a short story of why this lead magnet you're giving away is useful, why you created it, why they should get it. And then the offer is going to be where they can enter their email address and their name and get this free thing from you. That's the first page of the funnel. That's the squeeze page. Once they press submit on that though, they go to the next step in the funnel. So they move from the squeeze page, which has now squeezed out their email, onto the sales page. And so at each stage of the funnel, the amount of people reduces, like an actual funnel. It's getting less and less as it goes down. Maybe 1 in 5 people who visit the squeeze page actually sign up for the free lead magnet and give their email. And so one of those 5 people will actually make it to this next page, the sales page. And this is why getting lots of traffic is crucial. But anyway, step 2 in our funnel could then be the sales page, where you say, the free thing that you've just signed up for is on its way to your email address, but wait, because you've opted in, we've got this extra special offer for you right now. And then the sales page is going to be where you pitch something that you're actually going to sell for money now. So they've signed up for the free email thing, but you're saying because you wanted that free email thing, there's a high chance you're going to be interested in this offer right here. And again, you've guessed it, we're going to use hook, story, offer. So you don't launch straight into pitching the product and the benefits. No, you hook them in with something enticing. You give them the story behind it that leads them to understanding why it's so valuable. And then you lay out your unique offer, explaining exactly what they're going to be getting. Now, again, not everyone's going to buy. This is a funnel. We lose some people at every stage. But for the ones that do enter their credit card information and purchase your offer, you'll notice that there's 1 extra page listed in this initial funnel that we've come up with here, the one that they talk about in the One Funnel Away Challenge the most, because it's kind of the most simple but most effective way of getting started. And so this 1 extra step in the funnel before they get to the thank you order confirmation page is the one-time offer page, also known as an upsell. And the logic here is that if you've got someone who has given you their email address because they're interested in something you're offering, they've then entered their credit card information and bought your offer, so you may as well offer them this 1 extra thing because they've already said yes twice already. There's a reasonable chance they'll buy this next thing too. There's a really good point in this One Funnel Away Challenge though that says the key with your one-time offer, the key with this upsell, is you don't offer them more of the same. Unless it's an e-commerce site where you're selling physical products, don't offer them more of what they've just bought. Offer them the next thing they need. So they've just paid for X, then on this one-time offer page, don't then say, hey, want to buy some more X? They don't need more X. They want Y, the next thing. Think about McDonald's for a second. They've just sold you a burger. Their upsell isn't, do you want another burger? It's, do you want fries with that? And then a drink to wash it down. And the beauty is, because they've already entered their credit card information on the previous page, all they have to do is press a button saying, yes, I want this extra thing too, and then you can take them to the confirmation page where they can access everything they've just bought. Again, not everyone's going to buy the upsell, but you can drastically increase your average order value by increasing the option. So you can see how with a funnel, you can make more money than just with a typical website because it's very precise. You're sending them through step by step to certain pages. It's all very planned out. And then after that, they've gone through your funnel completely, all 4 steps. But because you collected their email address on the squeeze page, you can sell them on more offers in the future. That's where the real magic happens though, because they've already bought something from you. So if later down the line you bring out something new that they'd be interested in, you have them on your email list so you can send it directly to them from now on. You don't need to acquire the customer again, which is great because it's easier to sell to existing customers than acquire new customers. So this funnel stuff can be really powerful, because once you've got that customer in once, even if they didn't go and buy on the sales page, if they just went through the squeeze page, you still got their email, so you can sell them on other things that are related that they may be interested in as well. And you can also then retarget them and say, hey, I noticed you signed up for our free lead magnet, but you didn't buy the offer. Well, here's some more information on the offer. And so you've got their email address, so you can retarget them in the future. But now let's move on to some quick fire lessons from the One Funnel Away challenge. Number 1, create e-covers for digital products. If you're selling something that isn't physical, it's harder for people to imagine it. So get a designer to create a visualization of your product, like a product cover, to help the whole thing feel more real. This has been proven to drastically increase conversions, and yet it's very cheap to get a designer on somewhere like Fiverr to mock something up for your product. Number 2, ask who can help with this, not how can I do this. In order to scale quickly, you need to consider the opportunity cost of your actions. If you do everything yourself, that means less time to work on other tasks that might be more important. For example, with those covers I just mentioned, if you go and spend several hours trying to design them yourself when you could have used a marketplace like Fiverr or Upwork to get someone to do it for $5, you're not spending your time on the most crucial things that are going to make the most money. So you need to get good at outsourcing things. Number 3, testing is key. Taking imperfect action is the only way to really win, because whether it's creating content, telling stories, creating funnels, creating offers, you need to continually test and change things to see what's working best. The best marketers simply test more than the rest of their competitors, and they let the data give them the answers. Rather than making assumptions themselves and thinking they know best, they let the data decide. It's like with a comedian who goes and does a 1-hour special. You see it on Netflix. But they only got to that point with their material by starting out with loads of material and testing it repeatedly, doing all the small shows and honing in on which bits work, cutting out the rest, trying different delivery styles. We need to be doing the same with our marketing and sales. Keep trying, keep learning, keep improving. Number 4, write out all the cool stories of your life. We mentioned already how important stories are, and that we're going to use a lot of them because of the hook, story, offer formula. But remember, stories amplify value, not just when you're directly selling something. You should be using them more when you're publishing content and getting that earned traffic. So when you're posting stuff on social media. And so one of the recommendations was to list out some stories and practice how you tell them, because you then have some go-to stories that you can reel off easily. For example, the story of how you got started in this niche or with this product, the story of why you started doing something differently in your life, because if you listen to many well-known marketers, they all have this bag of stories they sometimes pull from, and this is something we can all do ourselves. And it's fine to repeat stories, so if you say it in one piece of content, but then a few weeks later you say it again when you're being interviewed on someone's show or something, it's okay to tell the same stories. It helps people actually remember them. And so that's something we should all be doing, thinking about what key stories we need to work on and, really hone in on the way we say them so that we can just pull them out of the bag whenever we need them. And your origin story, sort of like with a superhero, how you got started, how you got to this point, that's definitely the one to focus on the most first of all. Now, I could go on for hours here, but that'd be too much information thrown at you. I appreciate this is already a lot of information. But the reason the One Funnel Away challenge works so well is it takes you through a new section each day. So it's a little bit overwhelming, but manageable. It's not everything thrown at you all at once. It's a system you can go through one day at a time. And so hopefully all of this in this video right here has given you a flavor, but the link to buy the full course for $100 is in the description, and I can genuinely say I'm pretty certain you won't regret it because it's packed with so many useful lessons. So check out the link below if you're interested, and even if not, hopefully there's been a couple of takeaways here you can start implementing. If you're subscribed already, then I'll hopefully see you in the next summary video very soon. It's gonna be a good one. But either way, thanks for watching. Cheers.